Welcome back, everyone. We have got another amazing afternoon, evening, morning. I don't know what time of day it is where you are, and I don't exactly know what we do here. It's not a show, it's not a stream, it's, I don't know, just chilling with KBS. I want to welcome each and every one of you, and I've got some funny stories for today. Yes, we're getting close to Christmas, and I am taking it nice and easy. There's going to be lots of laughs along the way. Oh, yes, indeed. And I'll be coming to the chat room in just a moment. And boy, oh boy, have I got some funky tunes for the chat room. Yes, indeed. Here we are. Here we go. I'm back. I'm live. We've got the fire on and everything today. So hope if you're feeling cold, you can come in. You can warm up. I promise I won't bite. Not much. And yeah. Oh, hang on. Where did that music come from? That's not the cool music I've got for the chat room. And I hope we're going to get the chats working on the stream. We're all good to go. I've got some really funny chat tunes for reading out the chatters' names today. I don't know. I go into the YouTube audio library and it's the weirdest, wildest selection of music that I've ever come across. They've got a electric dance section, and I'm sorry, but there's nothing dancey about any of this music. And what I'm about to play in a moment is an example of their kicking dance tunes, okay? So are you ready for a little bit of this, and we'll dip our toe into the chat room? Yes, indeed. And I've seen somebody in the chat room talking about the fact we've got one dislike. Oh, come on. I'm quite disappointed, actually. You know, when you have a YouTube channel or a podcast like I do, usually you have at least 3 or 4 creepy people just sitting there waiting on your every move. Oh, Kev's going live. Must don't like that. Listen, to those people out there, because I know you watch, if you get your dopamine hit out of hating on me, crack on. I'm glad I can be of service to you. You, on the other hand, are of no use to me. So just you stay lurking, just you stay hating, just you keep the thumbs down, because I have got 48 people in here who I hope have pressed thumbs up. You've pressed thumbs up, right? Surely you have. Oh, please tell me you have. So let's get into the chat room with the very groovy music. You ready for this? See, that's cool. No, Shane, it's not. I know exactly who it is. It's different when you know the person personally, you see. And if it was a bot, you'd get more than one. A botnet would send various bots, lots of bots. You go and look at one of Uni's videos when he's had the bots attacking him, all of them coming into the chat room and things. You look at the dislikes on those videos, that's what you would get when you get bots. But when you just get 1 or 2, you pick these haters up along the way. But I find my haters are my biggest fans. They're the most on their marks, on their toes to get to whatever I'm doing. If it's a post on Facebook, if it's a post on Twitter, if it's a video on here, well, that's their day. That's how haters gotta hate, okay? So then, let's get into the chat room, because I'm sure they won't be in the chat room for their shout out. Queen Goddess is in there. Pat Studio. Alan, good to see you. We have got ECD 14-1 for you. Yes, indeed. We've got Jeffrey in there. He's looking long. Where's your brother? Short Jeffrey. Where's he gone? That was a shit joke, I know it. So where has... keep for a swear button now. We've got Jason in there. We've got Dead. Please check out Dead and Jason's channel. That's First World Problems and Dead. GPK. Yep. GPK. I just made up words there. Made up letters. What's going on? Is it going to be one of these streams? It could be. It really could be. Kev has not had any PPP refreshments in, I would say, maybe 48 hours. It's getting drastic. I might read out that story as we go on in today's stream, but let me get back to the chat before it fills up even more. We have got Shane in there, Rosanna, Manifest. Who else do I see? Legend, Rosanna. I might have done that one. I probably did do that one. We've got, I know Susie's in there. We see Russell's in there. Jacob, Russell as well. Sid, my brother from Norway. We've also got Lich. And Lich, I must, I caught some of your conversation when I came in, and it was about Star Wars. I've refused to watch any of the newer Star Wars. I spent my childhood, you know, most of my early life investing time, and my mum, she would invest money in the action heroes and the toys that came with the Star Wars franchise. It was a saga, right? And a lot of us have lived with that all through our lives. However, I agree with you, Lich. Disney have killed it. They went Star Woke instead of Star Wars. That's what happens, folks. So yeah, scrolling on up here. I'm going to get a song made for that, scrolling on up, I think. I've still got Schmeagol in my soundboard. Schmeagol is still here. I've almost got the effects working now.
Where I can put on a funny voice.
So we can play about on another day. We've got Karen in there. Good day to you, Karen. And let's see. There it is. Jose Ramon Frances. Just doesn't feel right until you see that name in there. We've got the Bearded Traveller. The Bearded Traveller has really started sneaking into the race for first. Yes, indeed. By memory, I think that's his second first in the chat room. And I know, it used to really get on my goat. People type in first, any website comment section or video you went to. And I used to think to myself, oh, that is just so insane, just so childish. But now I think we've got a good little game here. It's nothing serious. I'll get on the Photoshop, and at the end of December, whoever has got the most firsts in the chat room, I'm going to make you a very, very special KBS Certificate of Achievement. There you go, yeah? Not many people will be able to say they've got that. In fact, you'll be the only one person out of 7.5 billion to hold such an achievement. That makes you special, right? I'll tell you what else gets on my goat. Or I'll tell you what else gets on somebody else's goat. Dang, what the hell is going on, folks? What the exactly? Any of you's been keeping up to date with what's going on with certain two tech CEOs? No? Well, I tell you, I thought I'd seen it all. But I have now. Oh, I have now. Jack Dorsey, Twitter CEO, right? We all know Jack the Hack, as I call him. He has publicly, in this technical age, it's nothing says I love you like unfollowing somebody on Twitter. And he's unfollowed, guess who? Mark Zuckerberg. And why? Because of a goat. It's all over a goat. Can you believe that? We're going to get into that in just a moment, folks. But we've got lots more as well. This could be the last year of Santa Claus. I know. What we're going to do without Santa? Well, we better think fast, because it's coming. And I've also got maybe the weirdest Christmas gift that you could possibly give to a child this year. Want to find out more? Well, stick with me, folks. It's all coming up right here on KBS Live. Trying to think up some really snappy headlines or titles for today's show. I was thinking when Jack met Mark, or when Jack got angry at Mark, and I don't know. It was just, I find this utterly hilarious. And the way that Dorsey has gone about this so publicly, well, it gives us something to laugh at, right? Because we've all been there. We've all had our spats on social media, some more memorable than others. And yeah, you know, like I say, nothing in this digital age says I love you quite like unfollowing somebody. I remember being at the work and there was a bunch of guys we all worked together. And it used to be we would have each other on Facebook in the early days. But when you get a close or a group of guys working so closely together, it's inevitable that from time to time you have arguments and some people fall out of favor, and you get it. We've all been there in the workplace. But you all kiss and make up eventually. And it got to the point where Facebook was just starting to gain traction. And I remember one of the guys deleting his friendship to another guy in the work. And this caused so many problems, okay? And it was hilarious, right? Because here were two people physically in the same room with one another, and one of them getting upset because the other had unfriended him on social media. I just burst out laughing. I had to point out the obvious. You guys are friends. To hell with what some Facebook status says. Don't be judging yourself or letting others judge you upon your Facebook feed, right? But when I seen this today, it made me laugh. But I had missed so much of this story. I can't believe I never got into this or got into this sooner. And I've got a Photoshop as well that I need to show you because I found something really, really disturbing today. It was really disturbing. And once you see this, you can't unsee it. It's nothing dodgy. Don't worry about that. I wouldn't do that to you. You know, it's early in the evening here in the UK. We're very pre-watershed. We have to keep it very 18 plus. That's why I've got my... So now I can swear at absolutely anything and just mute myself out that way, right? But I won't do that. You know I'm not a big swearer anyway. I don't get too colourful with my language. Not on air. If you knew me off air, oh, it's like a totally different Kev. Maybe that's Dave Baker. But let's get in to what's really offended Jack Dorsey. How did Mark Zuckerberg get Jack's goat up? Literally. So Jack Dorsey unfollows the Facebook CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, on Twitter. I would imagine that Jack Dorsey's Twitter feed will be none the less interesting for not having Mark, I don't have a personality, Zuckerberg on there. Let's face it, and I'm not attacking Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not being cruel to him. I'm definitely not harassing him. But I think even a spider, an ant, an inanimate object in the corner of the room could tell you that Mark Zuckerberg is devoid of anything like a personality, okay? So hanging about with Mark in the first place physically, I can't imagine that'd be too exciting. Having him as a friend on Twitter, I get it. These are probably going to the same parties. Not too many people that Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg can hang around with, you know, because of their finances and everything else. But yeah, the love affair between the two tech CEOs is over. And it's all over a goat. How the hell did I miss this? So Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey made sure the world took note of the move. And Dorsey and Zuckerberg have had differences of opinions about issues like free expression, fake news, political ads on their platform, which is true. However, there's a little bit more to the story, as we're going to see in a minute. So it says Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg have always shared a mutual difference of opinion regarding how their platforms must behave. But now, in order to make apparent his dislike about how Zuckerberg runs his apps, Dorsey has unfollowed the Facebook CEO on his platform. Wouldn't surprise me if the two of them were in the same room when they done this, because all this has done is drum up attention for both Twitter and Facebook. Not that they need any more anyway, right? But Dorsey made sure that the world took note of the move. So he first followed a Twitter account called @BigTechAlert, which reports on the following and unfollowing activities of CEOs of tech companies. So it says @Jack is now following @BigTech. Then Dorsey unfollowed Zuckerberg, which was promptly reported by Big Tech Alert. @Jack is no longer following FINKD. Why that's his Twitter handle, I've got no idea. Not just this, Twitter's PR account @TwitterComs immediately posted a response. And Zuckerberg hasn't tweeted from his account since 2012, and there's only 12 tweets in his account, suggesting that Dorsey's move was more about making a statement. And both CEOs have had a difference of opinion about issues like free expression, fake news, and political ads on their platform. Now, folks, I don't know if it's all to do with all these political ads and everything else, because one of the Twitter team's main accounts, in response to Big Tech talking about the unfollowing of Mark Zuckerberg, they posted a simple goat emoji. Yeah, just a goat, nothing else. And of course, for people out there who obviously pay better attention to the news than I do, this was in reference to a story that had occurred round about the turn of the year. And it's something that maybe I did hear about it. Maybe we talked about it on the show, but I've just lost it. It's fallen out my head. As you'll see in a moment, it's easily forgettable. But check that out. He killed the goat with a laser gun. How Mark Zuckerberg predicted a food trend. So long story short, Jack goes round to Mark's house for dinner. Mark, being the absolute shining light of conservationism and being a champion of the environment and things like that, he actually has his own goat herd in his back garden. So, yeah, I don't know if he done it with a laser gun or not, but Mark used one of his own goats, which he himself went and tamper-feared with and done the nasty and got it ready to cook and eat. And Jack Dorsey, he melted down. He couldn't understand what was going on. Bloomin' heck, I just went to Mark Zuckerberg's house. He's wrestling with a goat. The goat almost got the better of him, but no, Mark won out in the end, and then he put down a plate of goat to me. I don't know if it played out exactly like that, but we'll see. It says a highlight of Rolling Stone's interview. And this was back in January, okay? With Twitter co-founder and CEO Jack Dorsey is an insight into, or the insight it gives into what goes on when a couple of Silicon Valley billionaires get together and asked to describe his most memorable encounter with a Facebook CEO. Dorsey cast his mind back to 2011, the year Mark Zuckerberg challenged himself to eat only meat he had slaughtered. He made goat for me for dinner, recalled Dorsey, and he done a really bad thing and took the life of the goat. What an animal. So it says Rolling Stone's Brian Hyatt asked the obvious follow-up question. In front of you? No, clarified Dorsey. It was one that he had done earlier. Bit like Blue Peter here in the UK. Here's one I prepared earlier. With a laser gun and then a really sharp kitchen object. Before sending the body to the butcher, the rest of the exchange deserves to be reproduced in full. So he was asked, a laser gun? Dorsey, I don't know, a stun gun. They stun it, and then they stabbed it. Then they send it to the butcher. Evidently, in Palo Alto, there's a rule or regulation that you can have 6 livestock on any lot of land. So he had 6 goats at the time. And I go, quote, we're eating the goat you killed? And he said, yeah. And I said, have you eaten goat before? He's like, yeah, I love it, man. And I'm like, what else are we having? Salad. So I said, where's the goat? To which Mark said, it's in the oven. For a couple of billionaires, they really need to get a life, right? I can imagine if me and anyone from the chat room were billionaires and we hooked up, you know, I can pretty much guarantee we wouldn't be sitting around talking about goat, okay? We'd have plenty other things to be getting up to. But I suppose, you know, I'm not going to knock it. You know, don't knock it until you've tried it. Anyone tried goat? I don't think I have. So then we waited for about 30 minutes. He's like, I think it's done now. We go into the dining room. He puts the goat down. It was cold. That was memorable. I don't know if it went back in the oven. I just ate my salad. Well, yes, indeed. The strange, weird, sometimes wonderful, but pretty creepy worlds of being a CEO of a tech company out in Silicon Valley, right? And I did say to you, I had a little Photoshop that I'd made up, reference this story. And I don't know what this is all about, folks. It's just getting a lot of attention. It caught my eye today. I found it funny. And then when I was doing the Photoshop, when I was getting ready to do the show, something really struck me between the eyes, literally between the eyes, because I think once you've seen this, you can't unsee it. Only I need to know where I've put it now. Where the heck did I put that? There it is. You ready to see this, folks? Is it just me? Or does Jack Dorsey look like the goat in the picture? Look at that. That's pretty uncanny, folks. That's uncanny. I don't care what anyone says. That, my friends, is pretty weird. No? I think that's pretty weird, right? I'll wait till I see what the chat room say. Oh, Dan, the video's way delayed. I'm about 30 seconds ahead of you guys. I'm time traveling. Looks like the goat though, right? Exactly. John Nelson's got it right. Why don't they just buy themselves a pile of traffic cones and get it on? So, are they alike? I think they're alike. Not Alien Girl, they do. And people kill their own livestock all the time. I just found it a really weird, out of place story. And the whole public show, that whole kind of the theatre around Jack Dorsey, unfollowing Mark Zuckerberg. Talk about a storm in I was going to say a teacup, but could it be a goat cup? I don't know. They do look alike, yes, indeed. Yes, when Mark grows up, he wants to be Jack. I don't think Mark Zuckerberg could buy facial hair. I don't even think there's a specialist out there that could make that man grow facial or bodily hair. People say he's a clone. I don't know. People say he's an alien. I don't know. Some say he's a human. I'm kind of convinced he might not be that. But hey, all's fair in Silicon Valley, right? The land of the really, really strange. What a weird place that is at times. For all the intelligence of the people that are gathered there to bring us the technology that we all enjoy today, bang, a little bit of common sense would go a long way in Silicon Valley. And talking of Silicon Valley, and let's get rid of the goat. We don't need the goat up there. Our good friend from Silicon Valley is going to be coming back on the show very soon. Nano Girl is going to be back on KBS before the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. And we're going to be taking our usual trip down the Rothschild way this time of year. The Economist magazine always put out their predictions for the year ahead, and they do it by hiring an artist to put into some artsy-fartsy form all of the predictions that comes from The Economist, which is 50% owned by Rothschild Holdings. So yes, it's always good to take a look at what they're predicting for the year ahead, and looking back at how successful or how off the mark we and the Rothschild publication was for the last year. So all of that to look forward to before 2020 comes along. And tonight on the Kev Baker Show, we'll be opening up the phones for an hour and a half. I'll be talking about a couple of stories I've got in the first segment. Second segment, phones will be open. But for the second hour of the main show tonight, I'm going to be joined by one of our own, Yes, our very good friend Jason in the chat room is going to be coming along to join me, and he's going to be telling us all about his ghostly experiences. Yes, indeed. I can't wait for that. And like I say, we're keeping it cool, we're chilling out, and we're getting nice and calm before the Christmas storm comes. Yes, indeed. And talking of Twitter, I thought we would take a little look in a moment at some of what they say. What they say is the funniest tweets of 2019 so far. However, we've got a super chat coming in. I've just seen what it said there. Fantastic. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, however, I don't find many of these tweets that we're going to look at in a moment. There we go.
The
yes,
Gherkins are responsible.
Blame the Gherkins. Hashtags. Hashtag Gherkins done it. Yes, indeed. And folks, thank you so much, Karen. Thank you to all the members out there that continue to join up month after month and renew their memberships. You seriously mean the world to me. You don't know how much that is a huge help, especially at this time of year. And if anyone does want to support the show, please consider becoming a member, or our very favourite this time of year especially is the PayPal link in the description. But we'll get back to it because we're going to take a look at these silly tweets, right? Let me get a moment of a cup of tea, wet the whistle, and we'll get right back into it. Oh, hell yeah. I'll stop playing with the new toys soon, folks. I'll stop soon, I promise I will. But here we go. Are you ready for 50 of what I would consider some of the most forgettable tweets of 2019? But in a world that has gotten woke, well, one man's funny is another man's I just don't get it. Let's take a look at what we're talking about here, and let's get rid of the goat. My word, eh? The goat got me. There we go. So yeah, we're going to BuzzFeed, which should give you an indication that this is going to be kind of woke. I didn't find many of these tweets funny. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe that's what it bloody is. Maybe it's nothing to do with wokeness. Maybe it's just me. Let's take a look at what they're saying then, right? Says 50 of the absolute funniest tweets from 2019 so far. And number one, I do think is quite funny, okay? Now, I just need to make sure that you see all this in the picture. So I'm just going to resize that just now. There you go. You can get to see the full effect there. And it says here, dear girlfriends and wives, please hang your wigs where the kids can't reach. I nearly collapsed last night in my own house. I thought it was Amar Diora. I have no idea how to say that word. But that there, I have no idea what on earth's name that is. It looks like a small child walking about with a big wig on. I don't know, but it'll do. It's funny-ish, not bad. Number two, Amazon. We shipped your package. It should deliver by 8 p.m. tomorrow. Me, nose pressed against the door, fogging the glass as I breathe. That was like 304,000 times. I don't get it. I don't get it. I get it, right? We're usually waiting for packages to come and things, but I would understand if you hadn't been told when it was going to come. If you were just sat there waiting like some window licker, staring out the window waiting for your package. I don't know. Well, who knows? Maybe it's just me. My family going through my phone after I die. It doesn't even show you the tweet. Half of these have been deleted. Number 4. Kids in 2019. When I grow up, I'm going to... And then global warming. I don't know. This one I like. I like this one. Go on, girl. Do your thing. Check this pig shaking. I'm going to turn it down because you know I'll get a copyright strike. Look at that, though. Shaking that porky booty. Eh? Loving it. Absolutely loving it. We scroll down. Me serving face in the mirror after crying for 3 hours straight. 244,000 likes. I have no idea. No idea. Now, this one I did find funny. Very funny. I am going to have to play some Word Olympics. The really, really fun play button bit on a woman has 8,000 nerve endings and still isn't as sensitive as a white man on the internet. Wah, wah, wah. Bleh. Come on. The first part was so promising, and then they had to go and throw in a bit of wokeness. And may I just add, the person tweeting looks like they have a white neck. I don't know. I'm just saying. And talking of weird things about how it's obviously wrong now to be Caucasian. Well, not in Scotland, because in Scotland we took part in the 4chan trolling of the media. Yes, we did. We did, because in Scotland we roll like that. Check this out. Racist posters which appeared in city centre are condemned. It's okay to be white. Yeah, that's considered racist, folks. But of course, for anyone who is a little bit internet savvy, you will know that this was started over on 4chan and Reddit and places like that. And why did they start it? So that they could get the media to produce headlines like that. And not only that, so that the people that agree with this mindset, or so that the people who agree with this mindset here, so that they show themselves for what they truly are. It's not so much a white problem anymore when you've got everyone else out there hating on anyone that's white. I would say then that would make them the racists. Yeah? Wouldn't you agree? Just a little bit. It's the upside down weird world that we live in. Yes, indeed. This one here, number 8. My two personalities talking to each other. I'm so sensitive, I want to cry. You'll be okay. Dramatic. 140 likes. 140 likes. 140,000, sorry. 140,000. Was it 140,000? Yeah, there it is there. 140,000 likes. Dang. And then number 9, Mum, come help me get the groceries out the car. Me. And he's posted a variety of pictures with, I don't know, am I just like getting too old? Am I maybe like becoming Kevisaurus wrecked? Do I need to get off the internet? I'm not finding half of these funny. That one's gone. It doesn't mean anything. We'll scroll down to one we can actually see. Are you free? Question mark. Me? Excuses. Yes, indeed. This one here, I've not watched this, so when I find out who has been spending all my money, we'll put the music down again. Okay, yeah. So like I say, we got maybe 15 deep into that, and already I'm losing the will to live. So on that note, another little drink of tea, and I'll be right back with you, because I think we can all agree by now that these tweets... Oh, a bit of thunder and lightning going on. Must be Jason getting close. That's what it must be there. No, I don't know why that's come on, actually. I need to check that. Yeah, let's get back to our usual safe space music. I'll go get a little drink of tea, wet the whistle. I'll be back. Oh, we've got lots more to get into, folks. But I'll be checking the chat room as well. Is it just me that didn't find most of those funny? I don't know. Like I say, maybe I'm getting too old. the age of 43 and past it. What can I say, folks? Dang. Look good for a 43-year-old though, right? Come on. So a week today, folks, the big day. Yes, the big day a week today. And that is Christmas, of course. And Christmas is a time of year I love, especially for the younger ones. It's great to see them getting so excited. You've all been there. A lot of you may have your own children. Mine is growing up faster than I would definitely hope. However, we're going up to Anne's families for Christmas, and we'll still get to see the young ones, you know, running about mad and things like that. And I would imagine there are a few people out there, myself included, that are struggling to think of just what to get some of these younger kids for Christmas, right? There's so many options out there, and if you buy maybe something that the kid doesn't like, oh, dang. You want to see that big smiley face when you give it the Christmas present, right? You want to know, yeah, I done well there. I got a good present. Well, if you are stuck, and I mean really stuck, I've probably got the weirdest present that a child could receive this Christmas. I bring Bill Bean onto the show lots, and I love working with Bill profusely, and I hope we can work together long into the future, because Bill is on the front line of these spiritual wars that are waging all around us, and some of us have come into contact with them, some of us haven't. Okay, but we can definitely see how there's a change happening in the world right now. And you know me, I am one that doesn't lecture anyone on their personal belief systems, and in return, I don't expect to be lectured on mine. Personally, I really don't share my own beliefs. I think that's a personal thing for the individual, and I do my thing, and you can all do your thing. It doesn't offend me. If I don't like it, I don't need to do it, right? And in recent times, we've seen the Temple of Satan. They've really been busy. They've been putting statues and monuments up, and programs over on Netflix, and we've seen this real turn, you know, a turn away from anything divine. I don't want to say God, because you're going to trigger some of the people who don't believe in Christian God, but you get it, right? You can see that there's definitely a trend towards the other side. The Baphomets, the demonic stuff, the satanic, call it what you will, right? Dark arts. And this present really falls in line with all of that. Now, what am I talking about? Now, I'm kind of tongue-in-cheek saying if you're stuck for a Christmas present, this is the one you should go out and buy. I wouldn't tell anyone what to buy, and I wouldn't tell you not to buy this book, but I think it's worthy of us talking about. So what is it that I'm building up to here? Well, it's this. And it is called A Children's Book of Demons by Aaron Layton. A book that teaches kids how to conjure demons. It's major retailers' shelves. Let me stop right there then, shall we? Wow, eh? A book that teaches kids how to conjure demons hits major retailers' shelves. Yes, indeed, that's Halloween. I tell you, it probably would be more Halloween. However, a new book, December the 2nd, a new book. It's only came out recently, folks. A new book inviting children or young children to learn how to summon demons is now available at major retailers such as Walmart, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble. Written for 5 to 10-year-olds, A Children's Book of Demons by Aaron Layton directs kids to, quote, conjure up gentle demons by writing their sigils, which serve as a, quote, phone number straight to the spirit. Quote, as ridiculous as the demons contained in this book may be, there is nothing innocent or fun about even pretending to summon evil spirits. And that comes from noted Elizabeth Johnson, aka activist mom, on her blog. But, quote, but who is to say it is pretend? The spirit world is real and is no laughing matter. Now, Leighton, an occultist himself, is clearly looking to proselytize our children, asserted Johnson. Now, despite being advertised by Publishers Weekly as being playful and by Barnes and Noble as being more silly than scary, the book is dangerous, according to renowned exorcist Father Chad Ripperger. The recent publication of a book, a children's book for demons, should be concerning for parents, Ripperger told LifeSite News, because it opens the door to demonic influence in the lives of children. Now, in the past, those in charge of the formation of the minds of children noted that the first years of a child's life, especially until the age of 12, were very... Right, hang on. Hold on. Right, okay, go for it now. Refresh now. And I know I shouldn't be saying that. You can't hear me. I'll type it. Refresh now. I'll put some music on until we get the stream back, folks. Here we go. Some tunes. Let's see what we've got here. We've got... Yeah, we'll get into the dodgy stuff. Oh yeah, we're back. Aha! Yep. We had this problem the other day. Thankfully this time, I seen it when it first happened, and I know how to fix it. Just when I was talking about demons. Oh, who knew? Are we all settled back in? Have the demonic ones left us alone? Have they? That was weird. Oh, that was weird. Let's get back to it, folks. Yes, indeed. So then. I am Android. I'm terrible. I'm absolutely terrible. I'm bad that way. Yep. So then, let's get back here. I don't know where you left me. I'll go back up here. It says, despite being advertised by Publishers Weekly as being playful and by Barnes and Noble as more silly than scary, the book is dangerous, according to renowned exorcist Father Chad Ripperger. The recent publication of a book called A Children's Book of Demons should be concerning for parents. I don't know why I got stuck there. But he says, because it opens the door to demonic influences in a child's life. Now, it goes on to say how the child up until the age of 12, that's their most formative years. And as Ripperger said, parents' primary obligation before God is to train their children in the virtues as taught by the tradition of the church, so that when they reach the age of majority, they have sufficient virtue to lead a life pleasing to God. So Father Ripperger continued, from the Amazon website, we read, don't want to take out the trash tonight? Maybe you're swimming in homework. Perhaps that big bully has been a real drag. Well, grab your coloured pencils and sigil drawing skills and dial up some demons. This paranormal parody is filled to the brim with funny spirits, more silly than scary. The proposing of a colouring book in order to dial up some demons is a form of conjuring which opens the door to demonic influence in the life of the child. At St. Thomas Aquinas observes in his, or as St. Thomas Aquinas observes in his Summa Theology, or Theology, it was not lawful to adjure the demons because such a way seems to savour the benevolence or friendship which it is unlawful to bear towards demons. Here, St. Thomas is referring to invoking them to gain something from them or to learn something from them. Now, let me just stop there again. Let me just stop there. I mean, is it just me? Am I thinking, am I overreacting? Is my confirmation bias from working with people that look at this stuff and from the fact that I am convinced there is a spiritual, demonic element to everything that's going on just now? I want to ask you, because in the end of the day, I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm not even here to tell you what I think. I'm just here to give you the information, and what you do with it then, it's entirely up to you. If you think the book's harmless, fun, I've got no problem with that. If you think the book is entirely the work of evil, I've got no problem with that either. Everyone's going to have their own opinion of this. But at a time when children are being indoctrinated into activities usually reserved for adults, and at the same time you see this going on as well, and it's not just this book. I'm not having a go at the author of this book. It just ties in with the times that we're in. And after you get past that age of 12, you start to get into pop music and movies and TV shows. And what have you got waiting for you there as a teenager nowadays? You've got a heap of shows that deal with the supernatural. And I'm not criticizing it. I'm not condemning it. I'd be a hypocrite. I watch some of these same shows. So I'm not telling people not to watch them. I'm just saying for children growing up today, compared to somebody like me who had growing up when you would go to Sunday school, or I'm sure all of you out there round about my age, if it wasn't Sunday school, it'd be something else. It certainly wasn't going home after school and colouring in demons, right? It certainly wasn't anything I was told about during my childhood about ways to communicate with entities that weren't here by picking up those colouring pencils and just dialing in a sigil. Sigils, teaching children between the age of 5 and 10 about sigil magic. Remember we had a caller into the show, Mikhail, about somebody who had targeted him when he was younger and used him in magic. You see where my concerns come from. But again, I don't tell people what to think. I only tell you that this is out there. Do with it what you will, okay? I think it's weird. I think it's really weird. But tell you something else I think is weird. And that is, on Christmas morning, we all picture, if you were to say, or if you have children and things, when it comes to those presents being delivered on Christmas Eve during the night and the snacks that we leave out for the reindeer, please tell me you leave a snack out for the reindeer, right? I know Rudolph gets some bad press and things these days, okay? But come on, let's feed them. So you assume that was the big red fella, right? Santa. Well, I would assume it's Santa that's been to town. Santa's been. He's left the presents. We're good to go. I've got a big pile of prezzies under the tree. But maybe not so much in Australia. Maybe we should stop assuming the gender or assuming the identity of that individual that may leave presents for little children around this time of year. Because, you can't go assuming anybody's identity nowadays, especially when in Australia, things like this are going on. I had to read this twice today. I heard Clyde Lewis talking about it. I thought, can't be right. I need to go and fact check my good friend Clyde. I hate doing that, but he was right. So in Australia, what have they done? They've got rid of Santa. Yeah. Get rid of him. outdated. We don't need Santa anymore. What we do need, you ready for it? Is a sustainability pirate. Yes, a Melbourne childcare centre has ditched Santa for sustainability pirate. So it goes on to say down here, I know, folks, I'm not making it up, I know. I can just picture how triggered people are getting right now. A Melbourne childcare centre has been accused of, quote, taking the Christmas out of Christmas by making the decision to replace Santa with a sustainability pirate. Ooh-ar. I had to. Doesn't that sound like Schmeagol? So parents reportedly received an invitation. I knew Jason would be triggered. I just seen FFS at the start of his comment. I'm like, I knew it, Jace. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I had to do it. But it says parents reportedly received an invitation from the inner city childcare centre that discarded end of year traditions and open to have a, quote, get together picnic and a, quote, fresh food swap to celebrate the year's end. Now, a parent sent the invite to 3AW radio host Neil Mitchell, who described the celebration as taking Christmas out of Christmas and accused the centre of operating in a deep inner hipster world. I like that. An inner hipster world. I would say a twisted hipster world. A twisted hipster. Might be a good name for a rock band, right? Twisted hipster. Yeah, I like that. The invitation read, this year's party will be a get-together picnic and fresh food swap for children and families to celebrate the end of the year. Listen, I like the idea of the food swap. I like that. There's no reason to get rid of Santa for it though, okay? But it seems to be a trend in Melbourne, with one of the city's biggest shopping precincts also dumping traditional Christmas celebrations in favour of a sustainability theme. Now, doesn't this tie in with what I've said about Australia all along? And this is why I value my Australian listeners so much. Because down there, it's like a testing centre for all of the wokeness, all of the globalist agendas, all of the crazy PC laws that go along with it. And it's almost as if, well, Australia's way down under, literally, pardon the pun. Nobody notices what's going on down there. Nobody will even check out what's going on down in Australia. They're too busy worried about their own worlds. And if you're here in the UK, that probably is true. Most people more concerned about what's going on with Brexit and everything else. And if you're in the US, 9 times out of 10, people in the US don't even know that anywhere outside of the US exists. And I know I'm not talking to the people viewing this video, but you hear me. You get me. There's people in America that if it happens outside America, it probably didn't happen. And if it did happen, well, who cares? Because it happened outside America. So, yeah, keep your eye on Australia. It is really at the forefront of the twisted hipster wonderland. Yes, indeed. Twisted hipsters. I love it. So it says then, Chapel Street Precinct Association is ditching the traditional festive routine too and switching it to take advantage of sustainability messaging this holidays. Rather than a traditional Santa sporting famous red coat and boots while greeting children in the shopping strip, summer Santa, and remember, it's the southern hemisphere. Those crazy Australians get Christmas in summer. How cool would that be? Having a Barbie for Christmas? I'm jealous. I am. I'm very envious. I don't hide it. Be decked out in attire from local retailers to reflect our diverse community when it hits our iconic precinct streets. A statement from the group announced. Yes, indeed. You make the most of that look, my friend. Yes, that is going to be... I'll probably be banned by this time next year. So Summer Santa has done his homework to reflect our diverse community when he hits our precinct streets, Sonnington councillor Melina Sir said. Chapel Street is also using the festive season to spread a sustainability message, and Chapel Street business owners who are set to star in a series of customer service announcement videos highlighting the diverse community and environmentally sound Christmas alternatives. It sounds utterly terrible. It sounds like the kind of shopping mall, shopping centre, shopping precinct that I would rather tear my own eyeballs out with my blunt fingernails than spend any time in. Goodness me, it's one day of the year. It's Santa. Santa never offended anyone. Nobody had a problem with Santa. I didn't see any anti-Santa campaigns in my travels. Maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I'm outdated, but I don't think the big jolly red fella with a big cracking beard offended anyone. But there it is. That beard alone is enough to offend people nowadays. Or at least offend those that think it's going to be trendy and cool to hate on him, you know? You can imagine all these woke ones tweeting this out saying, oh, yeah, this has saved Christmas. Hashtag sustainable Christmas. And these same people will also be like throwing away all their packaging as well, away from Twitter, away from the virtual world where they're so virtuous and so moral. Yeah, really. Anyway, it says Chapel Street is evolving, and so too is our beloved Santa. No, Santa doesn't evolve. No, he doesn't evolve, okay? Chapel Street Precinct Association Manager Chrissy Mouse has said, quote, while we have had an image makeover, his message of love and giving has only remained the same. It has evolved. Oh, hashtag Santa's awake. No, Santa's woke. Because to be awake, you see through this garbage and you think, what the hell is going on in the world? When did things get this crazy? Yeah, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I'm sure all of you are very well versed in the fact that we do live somewhere new now. Somewhere I call Woketopia, Bizarro Land, Upside Down World. What's next? Is it going to be the Easter Bunny? Is that going to offend people? Well, I dare say it will because it's regarded as a Christian holiday, right? So that's going to start offending people. Maybe we'll have a sustainability badger for, I don't know, March, April, May time holidays. Will we just call them spring break holidays? I don't know. It's crazy. If Santa was offending you so much, again, I'd never seen that in my travels anywhere, ever in my life. However, if it was, you know, you could just not go visit him. I'm pretty sure there's probably other places you could go where you don't have to bump into that really offensive red guy and with those big rosy cheeks and that ho ho ho, full of merriment and joy and Christmas cheer. I know that can be offensive to some of you woke people. I get it. Well, I don't, but I'll say I get it because if I don't get it, I'll probably get a at the door. Because merely thinking the way I do in the UK these days, just thinking nasty thoughts about the way the world is going right now, that's enough to get you the Mr. Baker. Yeah, the long, politically correct arm of the law. You know, they're too busy going after people like me, free thinkers, you know, as opposed to, or people putting up posters in Perth to say it's okay to be Caucasian. Don't, you know, you don't have to go throwing yourself off a cliff like some kind of lemon just because you are afflicted with this Caucasian spacesuit. It's ridiculous, folks. And I tell you what, the only way we turn this round and we come back to some level of normality, we'll never go back to normal. It'll never go back there. It won't, okay? It'll go back to almost normal, but there'll still be that taste of weirdness about it. But it only happens if we drop the fear of political correctness, of being accused of hate speech, because I'm not hating on anyone. I'm not hating on anyone. I just think the whole system, the whole wokeness is ridiculous. Now, if you happen to be woke and and you're happy going about with your fake virtue signaling and pretending you're on the moral high ground in front of all your fake friends, while at the same time hypocritically going home and participating in the same things that you had that virtuous moral stand against during the day on Twitter, well, have at it. Honestly, have at it. But I tell you what, just think long term. Because think, what world are we leaving for youngsters today? What is the world going to look like? Not 5 years from now, not 10 years from now, 3 generations from now. Susie in the chat room, she had the newest member. Well, she didn't personally, but her grandson, one of the newest arrivals to our Wookiee clan, okay? When he's my age, or when he's Susie's age, what's the world going to look like then? Have we really thought about this? And I'm not talking about the technology, I'm talking about the people around us. Because if we keep going on this trend right now, I don't know about evolving like Santa here. There's more chance of us devolving. There really is. Why'd I say that? Because if we don't speak up and point out the ridiculousness of all of this and give others around us the courage to do so as well, then it's gone. It's lost. And we're going to see people, we've already seen the language being attacked and weaponized and people scared what to say because it might offend somebody. Well, you go 3 generations of that. And where are we? We're probably looking at a society that will be communicating with very gender neutral, open-ended, vague emojis. That's what we're heading for. Because words themselves, they can be deemed offensive, right? And I mean, even quantum supremacy, can you believe that? It makes me sick. I didn't want to talk about this today, but I've ended up going there, right? I knew I would when I hit Santa. But even the term quantum supremacy, they're wanting to ban that. They're wanting to ban it because it's obviously quite cruel and nasty, you know, using that dirty S word in conjunction with anything because it's got very, very negative historic connotations, right? It's science, okay? Quantum. It's nothing to do with offending one group or another. It's nothing to do with persecuting everyone. And I can't remember where I heard them talking about this. I wish I could. Might have been Paul Watson, maybe. But they're even talking about, like, doing away with words such as colonization as well. And that's a word from science, you know, when you get bacteria or something colonizing another area or animals. No, they're going to get rid of that because that's obviously got bad connotations as well. Point being, before I get lost in myself, if this continues the way it's going, 3 generations, think about it. Susie's grandchild becomes a grandparent. Maybe the one after that. I might have done the maths wrong. It's a long time we're talking anyway, right? How's the world going to look? If people like me and you don't start speaking up, there's only so much you can say right here on YouTube. I get that. You get all of that as well. But you know there's more. I am definitely going to say in the future, somewhere at some point when it comes to all this madness. But it's only us that can stop this because it's only by us saying, no, this is ridiculous. This is insane. That's the only way the people pushing this are going to feel any kind of kickback. Because the way I see it right now, too many people who do disagree with all of the wokeness going around, they also adhere to the very strict kind of politically correct and they're very careful about what they say, so they daren't kind of tiptoe anywhere towards what may be deemed hate speech. But if we all adopt that attitude and we don't say anything, then this does become the norm. And this insanity takes root. Right now, I think we're doing a good job. I think we're about to turn the corner of wokeness because people don't want it. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Companies that are virtue signaling to that small minority of woke people out there, You spoke about Star Wars earlier on. I'd love to know how many of the original Star Wars hardcore, aficionados, groupies, whatever you want to call them, Wookiees. I wonder how many of them actually go to the cinema and spend hard coin watching this latest episode, the finale of this great saga. And then compare that to how many of these woke people who they've changed all these movies for, you know, in general, not just Star Wars, but how many of these people go to the cinema and spend money? Not many. So all they're getting is likes and shares over on Twitter for doing their virtue signaling towards these crazies. They are crazies. I'm sorry if that offends people. But going around denying biology, denying reality, and telling people that something completely fake and wrong is now factual in many cases, I don't know. It'll never sit well with me. It really won't. It really won't. After the Queen goes, somebody said, what would that change? Her family's still there, you know. But I'd love to say that on such and such a date, or when such and such a person goes, everything's going to be all right. I'd love to say that, and I'm sure if I was pushing a load of hopium onto people, that's exactly what I'd be saying. I'd be telling you there's mass arrests coming tomorrow, Gitmo's filling up. Don't worry about it. Just rely on your government. They'll take care of everything, right? You see how it's going for that mob. No, I'm here to be real with you. And I might be wrong. But this is just insane. And if something's insane, I'm going to call it insane. I'm not going to adjust the way that I describe something so as not to offend somebody out there. If somebody is offended by something I say, that's more on them than it is on me. Because I think when I listen back to this, I haven't picked on anyone. I've spoken in general terms about the woke community. I'm not harassing any of them yet. No, I'm not. But you get me. And I know all of you share this with me. Sometimes it helps me just to put it out there, to talk about it. What does they say? Talking about it's half the battle, Once you share your problems, you're halfway there to beating them. That's what it is. You folks are my self-help group. I can come here and confess all of my problems and my worries about the world to you all, right? Well, something like that. But folks, we're almost out of time, and I'm going to be back later on in a grand whopping 2.5 hours. I'll be back right here. But also, I'll be on tfrlive.com, the home of the Kev Baker Show. I want to thank all of you for continuing to support both the channel here and the radio show over at TFR as well. And I want to give a big shout out to Chris and Cherie Geo over at TFR, because there are many networks out there that want to keep the content that's produced on their platform all to themselves. And that's fair enough. I get that. However, Chris and Cherie and TFR, they roll differently altogether. And I was really concerned when we started simulcasting the main show that perhaps, that might cause some conflict, might take some of the audience away from Truth Frequency. However, because the website at TFR is not run with ads or anything like that, so the traffic on there, it doesn't really pay our way, so to speak. We rely on the hardcore listeners that become members of TFR, and that's how we make the money over there, to keep up the bandwidth and everything else so we can do what we do. Of course, I'm saying this because I want to thank you as well out there, because I have been saying to people as much as I can, please, please, please go over to TFR as well. Open up the chat room there. Open up a tab. Even if you don't use it, it's at least a thank you to TFR for the fact that they gave me a start doing the show in the first place. I would have still been doing crappy YouTube videos if it wasn't for Joe Joseph, Popeye, and Chris and Cherie Geo. So yeah, big shout out to all of them. And again, I'll be opening up the phones only for half an hour for random calls, because then I've got Jason coming on. And if Jason doesn't get finished up by the end of the the show, which will be midnight in the UK, then because we're on YouTube, and if Jason's up to it, we can maybe hang on an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes after the show, just so Jason isn't rushing. And I want to give him as much time as he needs to get all of his info out there. He's been preparing like a demon. I'm only joking because we were talking about demons earlier on, but we say that in Glasgow, right? When you do something, oh, he's doing that like a demon. We don't mean it badly. It's just a way we speak. So yeah, he's putting so much time putting the notes together, and I can't wait to speak to Jason later on. Please check out First World Problems. I'll go and get his channel up right now so we can see it. And I think, you know, folks, apart from that one glitch we had today, where the stream cut out, I think we've made it kind of error free, and we've even had the soundboard working. So I'll get Jason's channel up right now. Here we go. Let's see. First World Problems. There we go. There he is there. I'll drop that in the chat room. Come on, folks. Get on over there. Oh, hey. I'll tell you something though, folks. Look how many people are in here today. 78. And I know I'm not getting unpopular. I know that. You know what's going on right now, though, right? Over in the US. Oh, it's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. Just before we came on air today, I was listening to my favourite Alex Jones. And boy, oh boy, is he freaking out. Let's just say that there's really interesting stuff going on in the political scene in America today, okay? And anytime I hear the word impeachment, all I picture is Donald Trump and a big giant peach. Remember when you were a kid in the UK, you had James and the Giant Peach? Remember that? Well, anytime I hear impeachment, it makes me want to laugh. Because I honestly just picture Donald Trump being stuck right through the core of a peach. And when you think of the colour of his hair, it's going to be hard to tell where the peach stops and he ends. You get me, right? But that's going on right now, and I imagine most of our American audience are over there. Yes, ZX says, you sure know how to tempt the karma, police. I know. Did Kev say Jason's also a Russian? Not that I know of, although even if he was, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I can't. And then we've got Scully saying, my day job is being a zombie. Scully, I've been there. We've all been there. We've all got to wear that mask. We've all got to play the game. That's what life is, you know. In the end of the day, it is just a game. And I think when you come to realise that, even when you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders and all those pressures out there, just bear in mind that it is really just a game. I don't mean it's like a computer game simulation. I just mean just enjoy it. It's a ride. Bill Hicks said life is just one big ride. John Nelson, oh no, it's new today. This is like proper panic mode. I'm pretty sure Jonesy said this kind of thing could never happen. But I'm going to be interested to see what the 17th letter of the alphabet mob have to say about all of this. No doubt, it's all part of the plan, right? Just trust the plan. It's okay. You could see Donald Trump being taken away in leg irons and, you know, put in a jail. He won't be, right? But that mob would still tell you it's all part of the plan. You know, just don't worry about it. You know, mass arrests come in 2020. Yeah, thousands of indictments coming in as well. It's all just theatre. This is all just to make the deep state think everything's okay, right? Dang. You know, if I'd started pushing that crap years ago, I'd have been so above my 100,000 subscribers last night. By now, I'd be stratospheric. But I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. Even tongue-in-cheek, I couldn't do it. And that's what I said. I can't remember who I was talking to. But I said, that's my problem. I'm not like the other kind of the majority, or not the majority, no. There's a number of YouTubers out there, let's just say, that maybe would be a bit less honest and spin things a little more just to keep the audience coming back for more and just to keep pushing that opium out there. When I first started on YouTube, you know, when I was naive, bright eyed, and bushy tailed, everything was a conspiracy to me. It really was. And any time I heard people like David Wilcock, used to watch him a lot back in the day. And it was only after the third or fourth time of him promising me all of this was coming to an end where I started to sit back and think, hang on, just what's going on here? Why is this guy keep on telling me? And I keep getting excited and I keep going out there and telling people on his behalf that it's all right. By this date or by that date, it's all going to be okay. You know, the good guys have got it. The white hats are coming, right? And I tell you, if you're able to sit through these failed predictions time after time, if you're able to sit through information that is easily debunkable to even a non-researcher for me and not realize over time that you've been lied to, then at some point, I'm sorry, it's horrible to say, but you probably deserve all of the misinformation and disinformation that characters like that are giving you. And why are characters like that doing it? Personally, I don't think there's some big nefarious plan, and I don't think there's any alphabet agencies controlling them. I think it boils down to that one human trait that gets so many people in the end. So many people fall victim to this, they get wrapped up in it, and it takes over everything. And what I'm talking about is greed. What I'm talking about is greed. Like I say, I am quite happy to sit here below my 100,000 subscribers from here until the end of YouTube. So long as I know myself, I'm doing it as honestly as I can. And so long as I know that the people that we've got here tuning in to see the information I present, to hear what opinion I've got on it, so long as you people, and I know from speaking to some of you personally, either via Discord or Skype or wherever, I know yous are like me. Yous just want a better world, and yous are on this little journey, and we're all infoholics. We are all infoholics, but not to the point where we put the truth and facts to one side and disconnect from any kind of reality just in order to continue following one line of research or one particular personality or another. No, I'd rather what we've got going on here, folks. I really would. And I know I offend people from time to time because I honestly talk about the stories the way that I think about them. Tonight's going to be a big example of that in the first segment of tonight's show, because I'm going to be talking about 5G. And it's really popular to talk about 5G negatively and tell people that it's going to be the end of everything and to make people leave the show absolutely crapping themselves in fear of this new technology that's here, okay? Well, I'm going to take a look at an article that shows the other side of 5G tonight. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I know I'm going to lose subscribers after this. It doesn't matter that I didn't write the article. It doesn't matter that I'll say at the start of the article that this isn't my own personal beliefs or opinions. I'm only presenting it. People will hear Kev Baker talking about there being no problem with 5G. And that will be enough for them to turn me off, to go away. And where will they go? Well, they'll go to one of these channels that just wants to hate on everything and just wants to see the negative in everything, even when the person on the channel themselves doesn't believe that. Now, how wrong is that? At least I'm honest. At least I'm honest when I say about the AI and the D-Wave and the CERN and things that have changed my mind, and I'm more on the fence about CERN, and I'm not quite as worried about the AI and the 5G. Just to even say that, look at the sub count that I've been having lately. It goes up, it goes down. And why? Because honesty doesn't pay the bills when it comes to doing a YouTube channel. No. Feeding people, as my good friend Unirock says, the red pill to pay the bill. That's the way to get flying. That's the way to get noticed. That's the way to get a huge channel, it would seem. But we're going to buck that trend. And we're going to do it through hard work. And we'll do it honestly. And there'll be tears along the way. Some will come, some will go. But I think the hardcore people that have come along here time after time, day after day, you know who you are. I think we'll always be together through this apocalypse. For better, for worse. We've got some like crazy digital marriage going on, right? In sickness and in health. In woo and in goo. We will stick together, right? I like that. In woo and in goo. And on that note, talking of goo, it's time for me to get out of there. So yeah, ZX, he says, well said, Kev. Thank you, ZX. Thank you. You know, and I know ZX will get this, it'd be far more like advantageous for me to come up here and not admit that I'm on the fence about 5G. It would probably be far more popular to listeners out there if I was to say I'm absolutely terrified. This thing's going to come and it's going to be the end of all of us. People would love that. Do I mean it though? No. And I've got a funny feeling most of the people who are pushing that don't mean it either. And even if they do mean it, what's the bets? What's the bets like most of the rest of us? They'll end up using some kind of 5G technology. And when I read the story out tonight about 5G, it's going to shock some of you, because it shocked me. Because we've all been scared to death by these scary frequencies, that millimeter wave that's going to come and get us all, right? What if I was to let you in on a little secret? What if I was to tell you it's not quite the millimeter wave that they were telling us about? What if I was to tell you that a lot of mobile companies are using the same frequencies that they used? Oh, hang on now, hang on. My son has come into the room and he's trying to get me copyright struck by putting the TV on. It's okay, I've got it, son, I've got it. There we go. So, I forgot what it was. Yeah, so tonight I'll be talking about 5G in the first segment of the show. It's going to be an article that says, or takes the standpoint, that fear of 5G is really misplaced. And when you read the article, and I've done a little bit of checking as well, I know I've done a little bit of checking today. Well, getting good. Still wouldn't call myself a researcher, but you know what? It's spot on. It's bang on what they were talking about. So please join me later on for that tonight. If you're not interested in that segment, if you are against 5G, listen, I'm not saying I'm for or against it. Here I am again, just providing the information out there so maybe you'll make your mind up one way or another. Hopefully, I can take some of the fear that is out there away from you. Hopefully. Because nobody wants to be scared. Fear's the mind killer. What does fear do? Fear puts us in a position where we're more likely to react than to think about something. And to really, really think about it before taking actions. So, on that note, I'm probably waffling now. I hear football in the background. So that's definitely my cue to get out of here. Thanks for hanging around today, folks. And it's been great. It's been a blast. I'll be back later on. And like I say, if you're not into the 5G stuff, please tune in for hour number 2 of the show. Because Jason, First World Problems on YouTube, he is going to blow all of our minds. He's going to give us the woo. Not to the point where the brain turns to goo, I hope. No, he won't. Yeah, that's later on today on tfrlive.com. And here, I will be simulcasting on YouTube. So before I go, remember, if you want to support the stream, please feel free to buy yourself a membership. Lots of perks come with that, i.e. the emojis. We've also got the members-only stream Sunday. I wasn't on Sunday there, but I think for any of the members that have been here for a while now, on the actual membership pledge, I think I promised one a month. So I'm actually in credit. I'm still going to be doing one a week. I enjoyed doing the Sunday stream. This week it was a bit different. I had stuff happening, but I'll be back for that. Next week, the VIP lounge on the Sunday. And of course, if you really want to help me out, we've got a PayPal link in the description below. I don't push it, folks. I don't push it hard. I do require some of your help from time to time, and That's why I love each and every one of you, because you've all stepped up to the mark, stepped up to the plate to help us get what we have here. All of this stream, all the cool graphics, all of it together. Me, you, riding shotgun right through the apocalypse and then some. So until next time, which isn't long now, 2 hours away, I've still got it saved. Are you ready? Get some tunes on for this. I'm going to get it nice and, yeah, well, I'm not having that bad tune to play us out today. That was just terrible. We'll have our usual safe space tune, right? As you do. If I can find it. You ready? Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo.